That man was playing in the next room over, too, where members of a football team were so excited for that movie they broke curfew for the midnight show. And one of them avoided death by, what, a millimeter?
That's something that, I try not to think about, and just be grateful that it came out alive.
17-year-old Zack Golditch and about 30 eager friends were in their seats 2 hours early. Good seats. They were stoked.
So it was 15, 20 minutes in. There was a scene that came in the movie where, actually a gun was pulled and, they were shooting. And then some kid, was like, oh, man, like I got hit. I looked and, really didn't think much of it, because it was like, oh, man, some, idiots threw a, firecracker.
Here's how Zack discovered that the bullets were real.
As I was turning around, it sounded like a firecracker just hit the back of my head.
He put his hand to his ringing ear, felt how wet it was.
My hands were up here, and I felt, liquid, which I knew was blood.
Zack was one of more than 70 people wounded in the attack. His wounds, some of the collateral damage, when the shooting from Theater 9 ripped through the wall and into the crowd in Theater 8. And in this age of tweets and Facebook, Zack's cousin posted photos of his war wounds on Zack's home page. The entry wound was just below his ear.
Kind of went in like right here and went exit.
I don't get it because it got hit on this side, but...
Listen, so I was like...
You turned around and
oh, you turned right.
Yeah, this is like
this kid, was like, oh man, like I got hit. I looked and, really didn't think much of it, because it was like, oh man, some, idiots threw a, firecracker.
Here's how Zack discovered that the bullets were real.
As I was turning around, it sounded like a firecracker just hit the back of my head.
He put his hand to his ringing ear, felt how wet it was.
We've got another witness on the phone, a gentleman by the name of Zack. And Zack, my understanding, talking to my producers, you were actually injured in this situation?
Yeah, I was. I was actually shot in the neck and just missed the vertebrae in one hospital. It was just a clean in and out wound.
And you were in Theater 9 or Theater 8?
I think I was in Theater 8. I was in the theater to the left.
Okay. Now tell me what happened.
Yeah, we were just, watching the movie, and, up to the right, it sounded like some firecrackers went off, and some guy, I guess, got shot in the arm or something like that, and, next thing I know, I kind of turn around and just hits me in the back of my neck, and I'm screaming, kind of, because the pain, and I just run out the theater and, call 911 and, get help.
What was going through your mind? Did you realize you had been shot at that time?
No, I didn't. Actually, I thought it was just fireworks. I thought someone tossed down like a black cat and just blew up right behind my head, and I was just like, I don't want to get hit with another one, so I just, I was, my focus was to get out of the theater.
Yeah, to get out as quick as you can, and I imagine everyone else was doing the same. That made it rather hectic. What was it like trying to get out of there?
I mean, for me, I was the second one out of the theater, because, the guy the first guy, he was already out. And it happened to me, and then I ran out, but I heard it was pretty hectic, people, the doors were getting crammed and whatnot.
Did you drive yourself to the hospital, or were you treated on scene?
Yeah, no, I was not. I kind of ran out the parking lot, and I went down to the intersection on Sable and Centerpoint, and some construction workers helped me out, and then a squad car took me down to the hospital.
And I said, okay, I need to take a look at it. So I had him standing there, and I pulled his hand off, and it kind of gave a quick spurt of blood. So I put his hand back on his neck. I have some military training from the Army.
Denny Van Wy got a towel and applied pressure on the wound, while Garrett Olson tried to keep Golditch calm.
He said, am I hit? And I said, you just got a little graze, a little scratch on your neck. You're going to be all right. And then we started talking about football, and I go to CSU myself. He said he's going to CSU to play football, so I tried to think of anything I could to keep his mind off of it until someone could take him off to the hospital.
Golditch was whisked away by an Aurora police officer.
And there were two 13-year-old little girls running out of the theater, and I still get choked up. That's all she kept saying that night.
They also helped another man with a gunshot wound to his leg. They even stuck around to direct traffic to help police.
I did anything that any other person would have done in my shoes. I just had a little more training in it.
Even if it was minimal, I'm glad I could help.
A paving crew that was perhaps at the right place at the right time. And the guys who helped Zack want to apologize for lying to him about the condition of his injuries. Obviously, they were pretty serious. They said the injuries weren't that bad, but they were just telling him that to keep him calm. I'm sure Zack is okay with that little white lie. I'm going to step out of the way here and show you the ground shot of this memorial that just seems to be growing every